Back to the daily grind. The channel's getting false flagged by triggered trolls, so make sure you subscribe to the new channel. Let's get to the MMA news. I want to start this off by apologizing to motherfucking Mr. Burrell, Big ASB. My bad, dude. I know you wanted us to get that second microphone and shit today, or, as soon as the funds transferred. But if anyone's going to understand, I know it's you because you've helped out so much. So apologize, I can't order it today because our internet got shut off last night. But it's all good, we paid it, but our rent's due today. Our internet wasn't supposed to get shut off for another fucking 2 days, but they shut it off early, so that was some bullshit. Wasn't expecting that, but it's all good. We roll with the punches over here. Let's get to the fucking news. My bad, though. I'm going to be ordering it. I am, because the same thing happened with this microphone. And testing. Hashtag fuck Tony P. Sounds pretty good, don't it? I'm telling you. I ain't fucking play pimping. I ain't doing nothing like that. I just gotta handle my bills, because what's the point of having a fucking another microphone if we're homeless? It's all good, though. That shit's coming. I'm gonna order it. I ordered this one. I don't want to go too far talking, so I'm just gonna get to the news. Motherfucking Dana White's not going anywhere. You may have heard yesterday that the UFC is getting another investment, a $1.1 billion investment from another huge company. And the reason they're getting this money, this extra $1 billion, is to buy out the minority owners of the UFC. So, let's say, if you don't know anything about, owning big companies and shit, I'll give you a retard's breakdown. Let's say you own a fucking business and you needed help person. So you own a majority of the business. Let's say you own 90%, because the Fertitta brothers, they pretty much owned the UFC with Dana White. Let's say they owned 90% and Dana White owned 5%. Well, that other 5% was made up by just smaller minority owners that had a piece of the UFC. They invested a little bit. So the new UFC owners want to buy those guys out. Everybody that's got a small share, they want to go ahead and buy them out so they can the entire thing. So that's what WME's doing. They're taking out a $1.1 billion loan, another $1 billion loan. If you remember, they took out a $1 billion loan to buy the UFC, but now they're taking out another one in order to buy out the rest of the small owners. They handled the big fish and the Fertittas and Dana White, and now they're buying out the small owners. In those small owners is sort of included Dana White, though. Even though Dana White's pretty much different than every other owner because he's the face of the UFC, so these other minority owners you've never heard of, but Dana White's also technically a minority owner. So Dana White's losing a little bit of his percentage. That's true. He is actually losing a little bit of percentage, but at the same time, he's not going anywhere as far as being the face of the UFC, he said. This is what Dana White had to say. And he said he's burrowing himself in like a tick, but that was on a separate sentence, so a separate paragraph. That's just pretty much the gist of what he's saying, though. He's burrowing himself in like a tick. He's trying not to go anywhere. He doesn't want to get removed from the UFC. I mean, honestly, ask yourself. I'm interested in the comments. Would you give a fuck if Dana White got fired? I would. I don't think it'd be the same, but this is what Dana White had to say. I'm not going anywhere, brother. Not only am I not going anywhere, I'm actually making moves in the office and doing stuff and changing things for the way I really want it. He said, I'm burrowing myself in like a tick. So that's good to hear, because not only is he, not going anywhere, he's sort of treating himself like more of an owner, a majority owner, because before the Fertittas were really the owners. Now we have new owners, and Ari, and I forget the guy's name. His last name's like Witzel. The WME IMG. Now we've got new owners, and they're not as experienced in the MMA world and the in the whole UFC world. So they're gonna need to rely on somebody like Dana White. With the Fertittas gone, they're gonna need Dana White around. They can't just buy the UFC, get rid of the owners, and start doing their own circus act. They at least need somebody who's got knows as much as Dana White. If you get rid of Dana White and you start trying to do shit yourself with no Fertittas, no Dana White, I mean, really, how would they know which moves to make? They need at least Dana, in my opinion. I mean, they still have one matchmaker in Sean Shelby. Joe Silva left. I mean, they have a new one, McMaynard. But, I mean, Dana White and Sean Shelby are really the links to the old UFC. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy Dana White's not going anywhere, even though he can piss us off sometimes, even though you can't believe everything he says. Therefore, this might not even be fucking true. But at the same time, he's making changes in his office. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles with Dana White, with what to believe and what not to believe. If he's saying, I can usually tell, because it's like, if sometimes he's just trying to give an answer to get the reporter out of his face, and he just says something, but there's no way he could know. But it's better than him just being silent and not saying anything. So, I mean, I digress. I'm not going to talk about the Dana White dynamics and shit here. I'm just saying Dana White's not going anywhere. So if you hear about the minority buyers being bought out and you hear Dana White's losing a percentage, he is. That's fine. That's true. But he's not going anywhere. He's burrowing himself in like a tick. Let's get it. My bad once again to Aaron Burrell. Sorry, dog. I figured if anybody would understand, it's you, because it is what it is, dog. But the good news is internet's paid, rent's paid, so we got at least another month to get this shit really rolling. Nah, I ain't been getting no shifts, man, so it might get rocky in a couple weeks, but it's all good because you know me, man. I'll figure something out. Like I said, I'll motherfucking record from a McDonald's. I'll record here and then go upload it at a McDonald's or a Starbucks or some shit. It's not that serious to me, bro. I've been without internet. I've been living with someone else before. I've did all of that shit, but it's looking like that's not gonna happen. I mean, you know the story. I mean, if you're on Snapchat, you see my fucking parents, the fucking tomfoolery. So it ain't like, we got. I'm not going to get into that. I'll save that for the other show because this shit here is for MMA news. So it is what it is. My boy motherfucking Stan's Brathy, and he always skips whenever I be talking in the beginning. He always puts it in the comments like, video starts at 5 minutes. Because I'll be talking and ranting for 5 minutes or some videos. Video starts at 2:30. Fucking jackass. That's funny though. Good shit for the people that don't want to hear my dumb ass. So it is what it is. Let me know what the fuck you tap about in the comments. It's a new day. It's a new grind. Let's get to it. I'm out. I have the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the Toronto Zoo.